The front seats on the 991 Gen 1 incorporate airbags. You will want to disconnect the ground, red arrow, and then the positive, blue arrow, from the battery before separating the connections for the seats. If you have power seats, wait until you have removed the rail hardware before disconnecting the battery. Slide or move the front seat all the way forward, giving you access to the rear E12 mounting bolts, red arrows. Make sure the E12 socket is well seated and remove each bolt. You do not want to strip these. Slide or move the seat all the way to the rear. Use a flathead screwdriver and gently lift up on the trim clip on each side, red arrow. Use care as these are very brittle and break easily. Slide the trim piece forward and off. Make sure the E12 socket is well seated and remove each bolt. Again, you do not want to strip these. Now disconnect the battery and wait 15 minutes to let the energy dissipate from the vehicle. Then tilt the seat back. Depending on how your 991 Gen 1 is optioned will depend on what you see underneath. On our seat, the wiring harness was connected in two places. Disconnect the clip from the crossbar, red arrow, and gently pry out the plastic retaining clip from the base of the electrical unit mount, blue arrow. Release the locking tab and slide the release lever down, red arrow, separating the wiring harness from the control unit. You can now remove the seat from the vehicle. The rear seats consist of the upper seat backs that fold down, blue arrows, the middle sections, red arrows, and the lower section that is one piece, green arrow. Remove the lower seat backs. They are held in place by two industrial pieces of Velcro, red and green arrows. They just pull straight off. Use your trim removal tool and gently pry off the seatbelt cover trim pieces on both sides. Use a 16mm deep socket and remove the nut holding each belt receptacle in place, red arrow. Remove the belt from the two mounting holes in the chassis. Lift up the rubber cover and then the plastic cover to expose the 13mm nut in the center of the rear lower seat, red arrow. Remove the nut. Lift the rear lower seat piece up. It is held in place by industrial Velcro and will take a surprising amount of force to separate, especially if it's the first time. Use care not to damage the center piece. Lift the seat up from the rear and pivot it forwards to swing it out from the mounting clips by the armrest. The two rear seat backs are held in place by a center mount under the trim pieces, red arrow. Fold the seat backs down and insert a trim removal tool between the front trim piece and the rear and slide the rear piece up and off. There is a center clip that will release it, red arrow. Use a trim removal tool and separate the trim piece from the mount by prying it out on the sides. With the trim pieces removed, slide each seat back towards the center of the mount and then lift the plastic retainer, red arrow, up and out from the mount. Then slide the seat out from the post on the other side. You now have access to the rear components and partial shelf. Installation of all components is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.